Chair recognizes the gentlelady from California, Ms. Solis.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question is directed to Ms. Folger. I wanted to get to some comments that you made regarding PEG channels and some of the, I guess, challenges that you see that viewers are facing. And you mentioned Spanish language access and closed captioning services. Can you elaborate a little bit more for me on that?
I can. AT&T offers to put open caption on the picture all the time. It will not pass through the closed captioning capability. So what this is going to mean for someone who is not needing the closed captioning feature, part of the picture is going to be obscured throughout the entire program. I don't know if you've ever seen closed captioning, but there's a banner that goes across the screen. So for someone who wants to watch it without the banner, there's no getting rid of the banner. On the other hand, the hearing impaired people who need to be able to read that also do not have the ability to flip that on and off as they normally do when they're taking a course, for example, on our community college. And so what they have to do is sacrifice being able to read the material. In addition to that, because of the vastly reduced resolution of the picture by 75%, a lot of teachers use PowerPoint presentations as their lectures. And when you reduce the quality that much and you try to read the print on a PowerPoint presentation on a small TV screen, it's nearly impossible to read. So it has a number of problems that will be to the detriment of our community.
You mentioned Spanish language as well.
The second SAP second channel feature is not activated at all with Channel 99. So, for example, in Los Angeles, where they offer Spanish translation for the city council meetings, that would not be available on any of the council meetings, and there are many people in this country who rely on that translation for their information about local government.
And then my next question would be to Mrs. Torriano from AT&T. Why can't AT&T provide second language or closed captioning?
We can provide second languages, language channels, if in fact the community provides that to us.
How do you know if they want them or not? What kind of effort is made to know that there is an interest?
Well, actually, I can't speak specifically for California. But in Michigan, we are meeting with each and every one of our communities. That's part of the process that we have. When they are interested in providing PEG programming, we sit down and discuss all the technical aspects that are required of providing us the programming. So we spend considerable time with every single community to make sure that they, in fact, understand the needs.
But why would AT&T make such a decision for Los Angeles? That just is incredible to me, where 40 and 50% of the population speaks other than English, and the primary dominant language is Spanish. So is this what are you basing that information on, and who's making that decision?
If I understand your question correctly, if Los Angeles provides us with a program in any language other than English, we will carry that.
So the city then has to provide that support.
The city, whatever the city will provide us, we will carry.
Okay. Well, I will end my questioning there, and I know we'll come back for another round.
Well, you have a minute, and you have a minute left to go. If you have any other questions,
Mr. Cohen, yes, and I also want to thank the mayor for coming. It sounds like you all can work things out, at least in this situation. I have some reservations about how that's going to work out, given what I've heard from my colleagues and the impact of federal legislation that currently provides this committee with that jurisdiction to oversee that things are being handled correctly, or at least fairly, not correctly, fairly. So I would just like to hear your comments. I know, Mr. Cohen, you said that you don't think it's wise for us to get involved. Maybe you could just elaborate a little bit on that.
Well, I had mentioned previously, I mean, I think the current legislative and regulatory structure creates an appropriate balance that enables cable providers to negotiate PEG programming and commitments with their LFAs. And I think that the balance really has been explored in this hearing very well. I mean, on the one hand, we may need more bandwidth, and our local and first of all, as I said, this is a transitional issue. In a few years, this is going to become irrelevant because everyone's going to have digital equipment. I think the local governments understand that chasing customers away from cable, which is the primary deliverer of PEG programming, is not in anyone's interests. And we have numerous occasions where we've been able to work out these agreements with local governments where we've needed to do so. And as I've said several times, I am highly confident that the negotiations we're having now will be productive in the state of Michigan.